Xenos, it's been a very long time since that took place. Um, a lot has happened since then. I kind of got off track a bit yesterday when I did. And so now it's back on track. We get there. Because then, New Year, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays that passed already, but still happy. Hope you guys had a nice uh, holiday. But, um, before I start this off, this reading, it's something that I've been struggling to kind of, I'm not so good at, it's not that I'm just not good at writing, it's just that I'm not good at putting my thoughts into words. And even though I write a lot, it's not coherent enough to where I feel like it's going to be taken how I want it to be taken. But in that same token, you can't, not everybody can understand how you write and how you do your things. So stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Um, but anyway, I will have this in the link. So I will have the link in the bio below. But there has been a GoFundMe that I've been trying to get off the ground, and I'm not stupid. I know I have this account, but it's like um, I'm not really comfortable in a sense of I don't feel like I'm the most adequate person to do this. And that has always been a feeling, and that feeling has made me crack in actually getting it from my own. These are all my own failures. These are all my own sins. These are all my own feelings. So anyway, I made a GoFundMe for Muhammad Farham, and he is a Palestinian that's in Gaza. He has been struggling with getting food for his family, and just recently there has been a ceasefire that has finally been passed. Um, and I started as a funny, it was to raise, uh, I believe, 50,000 for him, and it's only made it to about 571, if my memory serves me, but that's just, not over there. Hi, how you doing? Memory, stop. How you doing? Welcome in. Hi, sometimes to see you around. Hi, I'm fine. How you doing? It's a wonderful day. Um, like I said, I will have the link in the, I have the link in the bio, but you can also go on to his page. I'm sorry. But there's also the page I just created specifically for the donation and trying to keep track of it because I'm not really good at keeping track of things. So that's a little issue to see. But anyway, donate sponsor, donate sponsor. Okay, sorry again. Sorry for the weird thing. But um I have that poll down there, and it's specifically like directed to the account that I made. I was just made like not even a couple of days ago. Um, and I'm still trying to figure out what all I need to write down because in my head it's like I have already thought, but but nothing is coherent enough to where I'm just like, this is it. And maybe it's just me doubting myself. Most likely, most definitely. Uh, but then it's just something that I also do is like, fine, I'll try. But it's just my whole issue with myself. It has everything to do with me. And that issue that I have to bring up because I have not been properly promoting my initiative. I've been busy with my own life trying to make sure I have money to do what I need to do and trying to get back and forth, do work and all that. It's a lot. And even through all of that, I still feel ashamed because I was not giving him as much time as I felt he needed, especially when it came to him and his family. Like I did my best in the beginning and I was still trying to balance everything out, even though everything I was going through. Because me coming back into reality back to myself and feeling, hey, I can't make up for a lost time, but I can make up for what I'm doing right now, and I can actually take it. Again, the poll is at the bottom. You can go to the Instagram page. I also have TikTok page. TikTok was banned and then unbanned, so I just made that because I don't necessarily feel like I feel like I can still promote it on my main pages, but I feel like it takes if I do that, then it takes away from like the message that I'm sending, if that makes sense. So I would rather have everything just catalog to a specific page and then promote it onto my main pages. So you can see everything. This is like his idea. He was like, do an interactivity. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do an interactivity? You should never snap. It was me. I don't know how to do that. So it's like another learning process. And that's you. Um, and I will figure it out. I will. And I want to make sure that the goal that he gets to is met because everyone, you have to like going into struggle. And it's just like some type of relief there. It's like, it's not so much heavy. And then, when you're under pressure, I can't even say that I have the same type of pressure as that because I wasn't the one in the situation. Like I understand how it is to go without food. I've been there myself, and I know what it is. Like I haven't struggled with being homeless, but I've struggled with on the verge of losing my house and I mean apartment, but still, I was on the verge of losing it, and I was on the verge of being trapped all types of predicaments to where it's like, how the fuck am I gonna make this next pay? How the fuck am I gonna do it? How the fuck am I gonna do that? A lot going on. Um, Even with that being said, it's not comparable to how people over there are struggling. Even though you have control, you have down. If everybody around the world is going through crisis, even in our own country, with the U.S., we are still seeing a majority of people of color go. Personally, I want to say people of knowing because even if it's a little, but you got knowing. But it's been a struggle seeing all of that happen and not knowing how to proceed, especially given my own issues, and not really wanting to be seen in that way. Uh, and I hope that you can hear me. I forgot. I really, I really hope that wasn't muffling anything because I forgot I had my earphone in. Um, but still, like I said, there's going to be a lot of changes in the future when it comes to this channel and how we are going to be showing ourselves here and going through it all. Thank you so much for being part of this journey and everything that's going on. Uh, that's a toughie, but on to the main event of what I was gonna do. I was going to use my Voodoo Tarot and I was going to pull some cards. Um,
This is my very first deck ever. When I first got into tarot readings and actually going for it and doing it. And I've heard this from someone that you can get bad luck from doing your own readings. Like it's a future reading. Thing is, when it comes to me, it's like I like to know possibilities. Whether it's bad luck or good luck, it's just a matter of will I go down this path? Will I choose that path? Will I go this other path? There's multiple paths that you can go, and the future is not just determined, it's not set in stone. The future is not set in stone. So even if I do get a reading to the future, it's not set in stone. There's always time to change it. There's always time to go another path. Like how they say, this is my own personal understanding. You have heaven and hell. And then there's always this way to say, you always have a third way of getting out of either. And it also comes me back to Jesus Christ really did carry around a jug full of piss that he would drink from. Okay. Okay. I don't really know how to talk. Anyway, um, anyway, where was I at? It was like how I'm currently into this series where I've been trying to get into different mediums of like what actually is a person who works with divine, what is a person who works with spirit, what is a person who does that, because even then it's like I feel like there is good and bad in every type of medium, every type of person, every type of whatever you go into. It doesn't matter the religion, it doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter the gender, sexuality. It's all a mix of things. And when I say that, it's just like I'm I'm not trying to expect myself to be, oh, this 100% perfect. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm expecting myself to be humane. I'm expecting myself to have those fallbacks, and I have to feel them at full force, or I won't feel them at all. So when I have my moments to where I am deep in a cave and I'm hermiting, I have to tell myself, okay, this is the feeling, this is where it started, this is how it's going to end. But that end is not already there. It's just a matter of how are we gonna make it so we can go back out of this cave. So we face it. We're seeing it, we're expressing it, and it doesn't matter how you express it. You just have to get it out. Even if people don't understand why it's coming out this way, baby, you don't have to understand. It's not for you. These are not your emotions. These are all of me. Just like you have your own. That's all of you. I don't take any parts in that. You know, I said cause and effect, but really, you are your cause and effect. Anyway, getting on to the reading. I haven't worked with this deck in a while, I don't think, on the channel. So we have the Five of Knives. And usually I never did these in reverse. Like I already did shuffle these before I was on. And it's funny. Not the card. But it's just like I never did I never did I never did take these in reversals because it never was my thing. I was like, okay. But in reverse, she has a head side up coin in her mouth. In their mouth. And it's I don't know what I don't know. They're just a person. So and you have five knives in front. So I feel like this could not be tongue energy. Or just like You're so lucky because you could have at any moment of not allowing yourself into a space where you feel connected. And it's not necessarily only about the connections with people. I feel like it's connections of the sense of how do you feel connected to those parts that are hidden, that you don't want people to see. You know, you get it down to the ugliest, the grittiest. It's those parts. However you manufacture them, it's just those parts. And you could have looked at those and been like, you don't need to be here. Get out. You need to leave. You need to leave. Like, no, you don't have to do that. And just as much as the light exists, the dark exists too. And all of those parts that you have, they commingle with each other. It's just a matter of how you balance them and how you get through to them. And it doesn't matter how you write it, how you say it, how you sing it. It's all going to go back into how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to face it? Ooh, do a flip. Okay. Dart of coins in reverse. So that's another coin. In the back, I can't make out. Can't make it out. There may have been a feeling of lost communion, community, community. Feeling like you had to overextend what your boundaries were. And I feel like when it comes to this is a perfect quote that was up on CoStar. It's up to you to enforce those boundaries. And there was another, I can't remember it, but it's okay. Um, but those boundaries that you want for yourself, the boundaries that you have for yourself, I also see this with the Five of Knives. It's like trying not to cut off your tongue, but at the end of the day, it's either that or you're gonna speak. It's either that or you're gonna speak. And some people legitimately can't speak, but it's like it's either that or you're gonna find some way of communicating how you want to communicate, how you feel you need to communicate, I should say. You have the Five of Baskets. Ruin. Immediately when I see this card though, and it was in reverse, immediately when I see this card, it always talks about ruin. Like you had fell apart. When you fell apart, you had to you had to see the destruction and you had to watch it play out. And this is also a weird thing when it comes to real time and reality and seeking. There is there are parts of you that want to continue to seek the destruction, whether it's good or bad. There are parts of you that want to rebuild and make better. It's just a matter of are you going to, are you going to have the strength to, are you going to have the willpower to? And it's also weird because I seen Five of Baskets in the back of the deck earlier, and it's like all of these emotions and feelings that you have. She was in a bath, by the way, but all of them that you have to collect them. you have to see what's inside of these baskets. You're trying to figure out, like, why do you need all of these baskets in the first place? Maybe you like a lot of baskets, but sometimes you don't need so many baskets. And you have the seven of coins. In reverse, you feel like efforts that you've done have not been seen. That maybe that harvest that you were so eagerly waiting for, you have the ten of sticks, you're still trying to figure out how to get to the harvest. It's still the winter time, so of course you wouldn't have a harvest yet. It's still winter time. You know when everything grows and blooms and comes back into growing? That's in the spring. It's the weirdest that is. But the winter, survival. It's about getting through. Some people don't even. Well, I personally, I am not the biggest fan of the winter. The summer is where I feel the most comfortable. I love the heat. When it comes to the winter, it's one of those seasons where it's just, I would like to sit outside, but I would need about 5, 10, 11 layers before I do that. And even then, it's just, let me just stare out the window and watch or look. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Maybe to some people, but not to me. That was my normalcy. Some people have a normal where they want to go out and explore during the winter. Maybe go see bears. We go see bears. Maybe go out and, like, ice skating, ice rink. Maybe you wanna play in the snow. It didn't snow that much this year, but play in the snow. And that's all normal. That's all fine. This card fell out. I'm just playing with it. But if you want to do those things, and all of those things are normal, that's perfectly normal to you. And I feel like when it comes to normalcy, in what way is, in what way are we as a society telling people that they have to be one way, they have to do this because that's what the majority of people do. And we stop thinking about the less, the marginalized topics, or we stop thinking so much about how this would affect somebody else who didn't have the same life, who didn't have the same type of connections, or vice versa, who didn't have, you know, the same type of thing, the same feeling, the same, who didn't have the same. We stop thinking about that because we're so focused on this is what everybody else does. It's marginalized. This is what is normal to society. You don't have to be like them. In this world, you don't have to be like everybody else. So, what do you see for yourself in the future? What do you see for yourself in the present? How you see yourself, how you want to be yourself. It doesn't matter how people view it. You're still going to come out. You're still going to be the best you. You're still going to be gorgeous. You're still going to be handsome. You're still going to be popping out. You're still going to be doing what you can. Talk about what's ugly and beautiful. There are people who can look the most amazing, beautifulest motherfuckers on the planet and still have an ugly soul because no one showed them how to fix that, how to heal that. Let me stop playing with my words. We don't fix, we heal. Fixing is like when a car breaks down and you're putting it back together. You cannot do that with your emotional body. You cannot do that with your mental body. You cannot do that with your physical body. You have to heal those things. even spiritually. You have to heal those things. And here's something that has been weird to us as we kind of gain a perspective on what we see as a spirituality to ourselves. Some of us have different mixes of what we consider, and even then, as you know, uh, we grew up in a Christian uh, church. That was what we were taught, how we were raised, and even got baptized twice. First time, I don't even remember it. I don't even remember being baptized. Second time, that was me. I said, okay, I want to do it. I just wanted to get into the water. 'Cause I have this fear of water, so I was like, okay, this will help me get rid of my fear of water, and that's why I did it. Like initially, that's the thought process. You were a kid, so that was the thought process. And I still had this issue while growing up about how God would see me, how God would do this, how God would judge me. But it wasn't God judging me, it was the people. They were judging me because they were saying, this is how our God is, this is how my God is. And then I started thinking, who the fuck gave them that name? I know they didn't give them their name. Did they do that? Did they tell you, hey, this is my name? That's just how I seen it. And I'm just like, how I kept on conceptualizing it. I was just like, how do you know whether they are a man, woman, or nothing? Or just like, how do you know what they are? Because they always want to use specific pronouns. And then you say, oh no, we don't do those pronouns here. But you want to use pronouns when you talk about yourself and you talk about other people. You said you can't use they and them, but what are they doing over there? What is it doing over there? These pronouns are things that we have been writing for generations, for decades, for millennia to give a design to what is and what isn't. So when I think about like how we should call it or how we should name it or how we should talk about it, it's just like, you know, it's a it's a bit of everything. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter how you phrase it, whose name you phrase it as. Like, even if you think it's God, somebody says it's Allah. Y'all talking about the same nigga here. I'm sorry. You're talking about the same person. The same person. And to me, it doesn't matter how you put it. Everything that people believe, what they put in religion, all of it ties back to the same. Good or evil, nice, bad. It's to me, that's how it all ties together. Everything is the same. But you don't have to have the same opinion as me. If you think God and devil are different things, or angels, demons, all that shit, if you believe that it's something different, because I'm not saying there aren't differences, I'm just saying all of them tie into the same thing. And without having that type of conscious thought in my head, I would have just blindly be like, oh, I have to stay like how people want me to. I have to stay like that. No, I have to grow out of that. You see the son of baskets carrying a basket from a waterfall. And it's funny how, you know, these are all in reverse. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, it just means that this is the change. Going to realization of what you want, what you need, what you want to bring into harvest? What do you want to see for yourself? And it doesn't have to be like anyone else. You have the two of sticks, you're steady, still trying to figure out where do you need to go, looking at that other side and saying, how do I cross it? How do I get over there? You see this vast river. How do I do that? The answers have always been in you. And you really, like, if you want to go into spiritual guidance, do that. You want to pray, you want to just talk out into the open, like, do it. You want to talk to the outside, do it. You want to talk to somebody, do it. Do it. I don't see, like, you, what's stopping you. What's stopping you? Like, honestly, what's stopping you? Ace of Baskets overflowing. And sometimes it does overflow. Because sometimes we don't have the right words of what we want to say or how we want to correlate. But this is how I see everyone I talk to, it feels like improv. I'm just like, yeah, like I'm still being honest, but it's improv. I have to pick up on what you're saying and respond back with something that I can relate to. Even if I don't relate, I'm saying, how do you do that? Let me ask you questions about that. Let me get, like, understand that. It's the overflow. You have Father Sims. Oh, there it is. Still having temperance. Okay, I wasn't crazy. I was like, I'm. It's like I doubt myself too much. That's one of the things I have to work through. These are emotions that I have to work through. Doubt, shame, and that comes with building resilience. And sometimes when we do have those overflowing emotions, it's hard to kind of get them in a balancing way. It's hard to be like yin and yang when you're feeling a lot of yang or a lot of yin. you know, and these are balancing aspects. And it doesn't matter how you look or how you dress, how you do whatever. Sometimes we do embody that energy more rather than embodying the energy we want to embody. And even then, those energies are interchangeable. Okay. Again, okay. The Nine of Sticks. I love this card. It's just like, I cannot remember her name. But she's this woman who I've seen in a lot of films. Uh, I can remember her face clearly, but her name is not. Her name is out of reach, and I'm just like, oh, okay. But that's who she reminds me of. She has the Bible in her hand, and she has a gun, and there are 9 schools around her. It's like she's ready to defend. She's ready to defend. She's like, back it up, back it up. You don't want to be like none of these heads up here. We're not gonna collect you, so back it up. But it's like he has a little one, you know. It's like you get into your not so nice self when you need to. It's not all the time. It's just when you need to. And you have have the full and strength on the back. And also be careful with your money. I knew the father of Nas was somewhere. I just, yeah, okay. Time. Don't worry about the time. Just worry about getting it to where you want it to be. Don't be so scared of seeing it through. Don't be so scared of actually allowing it to flow. Um, is there anything else? I'm guessing no. Don't be ignorant. What's another thing? Don't be ignorant. What does that mean? Ignorance. What my friend said. Ignorance is bliss. His father knives at the top out of everything. Um, so um, there, excuse me. There are a lot of things that I mentally am trying to operate in understanding. Um, and more often than not, it's not that I'm ignorant. I just fail to understand why I need to know. And this is also a thing. I have weird dreams, premonitions and shit, and I'm just like, get that shit out of my head. I don't need to know that. Maybe it's something I do need to know, but it's something that is like, I don't need to know that. It's not me being ignorant. It's just like, if it plays out, it plays out. I'm gonna take it in stride. If it plays out, and that's something I have to do. But that's also what I say when it comes to the future. You get those dreams, so you can be like, okay, if this is what was foreseeable, how do I change that into something that's beneficial, not just for me, but for who I'm around, you know? And it's a given. It's a given that you will struggle and sometimes you will fail and sometimes you might just fall on your ass, but you get back up. It's just like in that child spirit where you're getting back up, even though, like how I give you example. So this is how uh, my nephew is. He fucking, or actually, not just my nephew, my kid's friend. They will literally like hit their heads and shit, and they would just do everything, even after just getting their asses whooped. They would be like, after they done something that they shouldn't have, not even like a bad, just like a slap, well, you know, and they'd be like, ah, ah, but then after like 5 minutes, they go back and do the same thing again. Okay. They a little bipolar, but you know, okay. It's like, okay, you got that spirit. So don't be scared to allow that failure and to go back and to try to figure out, okay, that happened last time. How do I come in with a different type of reaction, a different type of way to get a different solution? And that's in how you push towards the goals that you do see for your life, that you do see in the long run. It's just temporary right now. Even in the temporary, you still have to make do and expect, like, even though this is temporary, I'm still trying to get the best or be the best into or give the best into what I'm doing. You know, it's you're trying. So that's more than enough, even if you fail, even if you fail to get the point across, even if you fail to really feel like you're heard. You did it. You tried. And that's all life is going to ask for you, that you're trying, that you're not giving up. Um, and I think that really is the end of this message. It's been so long since I've actually done this, like since I was at the previous home. A lot had happened where I had setbacks, and I was like, this is a reality I have to face. It's the reality they face. And every time it's a reality that still do not have, uh, they do not have control over. Sometimes we won't always have control. So when we try to pick up, we fall. Pick it up. Fall. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. You can be the last person standing and you'll still say, I gotta get up. You have that choice. You have that ability. You have that feeling that's like, I have to get up and I have to keep going. Well, what the fuck? I just seen something. Anyway, I, anyway, anyway, um, and I hope you all are doing your best. I hope you're. What if you're watching something while doing this, or not what? If you were doing something while watching this, I hope it all went well. You know, I don't know what else to say. I just ran inside. Anyway, keep it juicy, because peace the fuck out.